Biden takes the Sooner State, plus how meteorologists predict Oklahoma's weather and neighbors in Nashville picking up after the storm. OU Nightly starts now. The results are still trickling in from a wild Super Tuesday. Good evening, I'm Cal Day.
And I'm Taylor Wynn. Some states like California and Colorado are still waiting for precincts to report, but all states have been called for.
That's right. There's been some fallout today following the results. OU Nightly's Nicole Nielsen joins us now with those developments. Nicole.
Cal and Taylor, after former Vice President Joe Biden swept the southern states and Bernie Sanders took California, it became apparent to Michael Bloomberg that it was time to end his presidential campaign. The billionaire philanthropist made the announcement this morning, proving that his $500 million campaign advertising budget clearly wasn't enough. Bloomberg endorsed Biden instead, saying that the two agree on many key issues. Those include gun safety, health care, climate change, and creating jobs. Now, this was a major turnaround for Biden, who only 4 days ago had not won a single primary. Today, he won his 10th state, Maine. The state garnered a larger than expected voter turnout after it made the switch to vote in a primary rather than a caucus last year. And as the intensity of these elections rise, the House Homeland Security Committee has requested Secret Service protection for the 2020 presidential candidates. This comes after two anti-dairy protesters rushed the stage at a Biden rally in Los Angeles last night. Chairman Benny Thompson says Biden and Bernie clearly meet several criteria for protection, at least until their campaigns are over. Now, voters will be heading to the polls in several states over the next few weeks and months. There are 21 more election days between now and the start of the summer's political conventions. Cal, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Nicole. Well, liquor stores in the state can soon open their doors on Sundays. This comes after Cleveland and 6 other counties in Oklahoma voted yes to allowing liquor stores the option to open on Sundays. Now, this effort aims for liquor stores to keep up with grocery store alcohol sales of High Point beer and wine. One owner is thankful his customers will no longer have to turn to grocery stores to get their alcohol on Sundays.
Yeah, the Sunday thing, it should have been done. It should have been done a long time ago. I'm shopping at my local stores on Sunday getting groceries, and there's mom and pop buying their beer and their wine, and I'm thinking, and I have to be closed. I'm missing sales.
Now, most liquor stores in Norman are split on whether they will remain open on Sundays or not. The law is intended to level the playing field for alcohol sales.
And a big factor in elections this year is the Hispanic vote. Oklahoma ranks 25th in the number of possible Hispanic voters in the nation, a big difference from California, which ranks first. This stat has helped California remain a solid blue state, but OU Nightly's Sarah Beth Gavada tells us there's still some Republican strongholds.
Who really knows a city? Is it the politicians or the preachers? In Bakersfield, California, a town about Tulsa's size, it's the Lyft drivers who know the ins and outs.
There's actually some Republicans in this area.
Growing minority populations among Hispanic and Asian voters are making the county slowly turn more blue, but about 30% of Latinos in California identify as conservative, precariously keeping the county in the red. 10 years ago, Toledo says there would not be this many Latino conservatives.
I think not. People are starting to understand and actually really care about what's going on in our country now.
Toledo is a split-ticket voter who identifies as independent, the same as 1/3 of Bakersfield's registered voters. Another third is Republican, and the last chunk Democratic. So why are formerly liberal Latinos being courted by the GOP?
We have always been conservative, and we will always be conservative. We just have to match what elected officials and candidates say and do to what our morals and values have always been.
Since the number of potential Latino voters has doubled since 2000, a clear, undisputed political fact has emerged. Both Democrats and Republicans recognize the rising political power of America's Hispanics, and both parties are trying to find the right message to win them over.
I just want what's better for our community, for the United States. I want what I want us to be happier. I want us to be, hopefully they listen to our votes.
Oklahoma had the 25th most political Hispanic voters in the U.S. in 2016. This year, that number is expected to grow. Sarah Beth Gavada, Gaylord News.
The next set of primaries will take place next Tuesday, with 6 states voting on presidential nominees.
Well, a couple days of really nice weather with some sunshine has turned into some cloudy and cool weather today, Taylor.
Oh yeah, and Marisa, Nuzzo tells us that some parts of the state are even seeing some rain. Marisa, is that rain heading our way?
So we are seeing a little bit of rain on the radar right now, but it's mostly down near Ardmore, Lawton. All of this over Norman is really just some low-hanging clouds. We could see a little bit of drizzle, but mostly we're going to stay dry here in Norman for the rest of the day. Those temperatures in the upper 50s, 56 here in Norman and Oklahoma City too. Now, tomorrow we're going to have a pretty windy day, and we do have a possibility of some more rain coming up in the forecast. But before we talk about that, let's do a quick Nashville tornado update. Now, this is the latest from the National Weather Service in Nashville. Starting all the way off to the west at the John C. Toon Airport, they did find EF2 damage, and then the strongest damage they saw was in the town of Donaldson with EF3 damage, measuring 165-mile-per-hour wind damage there. So that is the strongest damage they've seen, and then that extended all the way out to Lebanon at EF1 damage out there. So they're still determining what the tornado path was and how many tornadoes there were, but I'll toss it back to you, Taylor and Cal, so we can see some pictures of that damage.
Thank you, Marissa. And the Storm Prediction Center here in Norman says that Nashville tornado is the deadliest since the EF5 that hit Moore in 2013. Daryl Forge is in Nashville, where rescue efforts are ongoing and the cleanup is underway.
A state of emergency has been declared in Tennessee following deadly storms Tuesday morning. Rescuers are going door to door searching for survivors, and they plan to continue Wednesday until they clear all of the structures in the hardest hit neighborhoods. East Nashville residents only had about 6 minutes to prepare for the storm to hit. Residents to the west had even less time.
It felt like a big rush of air pulling us up, and everything just started going away, and rain started pelting us, kids screaming.
While tens of thousands of people are still without power, communities are coming together to start cleaning up and moving forward.
He just immediately got in his car and came up here and brought the wood and said, let's build a fence. So we're just going to put this fence up real quick and be protected. But that's just how East Nashville is.
Tennessee's governor calls the efforts a profound turnout.
In the darkest of days, there's brightness when we see neighbors respond.
In Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
A new bill aiming to battle the coronavirus. Haley Weger has more on this in the News Center. Haley.
Thanks, Cal. The House will vote on an $8.3 billion coronavirus response package today. The emergency funding package will assist research, vaccine development, diagnostic tests, and therapeutic responses to the virus. President Trump says his administration is taking the most aggressive response to a foreign outbreak.
Health and safety of our people is my first priority. In everything we do, we are putting America first, always.
The Senate Majority Leader indicates his goal is to pass the bill this week. And Iran will temporarily release 54,000 prisoners to try to contain the coronavirus. Iran also plans to deploy hundreds of thousands of health workers to attempt to keep the virus from spreading. Iranian officials have been under pressure to take action as the number of coronavirus cases rises. After 586 new infections were reported overnight, the total number of cases in Iran is now 2,922, with 92 confirmed deaths. Officials claim the virus will be contained, but many are still questioning whether the government is telling the whole truth. Violence in Haiti is causing the cancellation of the biggest celebration of the year. Carnival is a 3-day festival that attracts huge crowds. The big celebration was cut short this year after protests and gunfire interrupted the first day. People at Carnival ran to Haiti's capital in search of safety after hearing gunshots from the crowds. Protesters attacked the country's national police headquarters, killing 1 soldier and injuring 2 more. This violence adds to the terror in the nation as demonstrators continue to demand the resignation of the Haitian president. And Cal, Jeopardy host Alex Trebek says he is beating his cancer odds. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, good news for Trebek. Thank you very much, Haley. Well, with spring just around the corner, Oklahomans are preparing for a season of its own, tornado season, coming up. How meteorologists on OU's campus prepare these forecasts.
Plus, senior night turns sour for men's basketball. Coming up, Lindsey Gibbs breaks down the Sooners' loss to the Longhorns. Winter seems to have finally ended in Norman, but spring storms are just around the corner. Martin Lowrimore goes in depth with the experts in this week's Earth Report. Martin.
Thanks, Taylor. Oklahoma has seen some of the most extreme and varied weather in the entire nation. From tornadoes to ice storms, we pretty much see it all. I spoke with a few meteorologists to see how they work and their interactions with the public.
Late winter in Norman. It's the peace between the storms. Winter, with its snow and ice, has been left behind, but ahead is an even more dangerous time of the year, tornado season. The forecasters at the National Weather Center here on South Campus have started to gain flack for the supposed wrong forecasts.
I think accuracy is always dependent upon the situation weather-wise, right? There are just inherently some weather scenarios that are easier to forecast than others. Winter weather, of course, being one of those that's at the top of the charts of difficulty.
Rick Smith has been working for the National Weather Service since 1992 and has seen a drastic improvement in forecasting in his 28-year career.
The accuracy of a 5 to 7 day forecast now is similar to what the accuracy of a 3-day forecast used to be. So the quality of the forecast is getting better.
But it's been difficult to forecast these events without error. Models are not perfect, and there is no one-size-fits-all method for weather forecasting.
Meteorologists work hard to get the forecast right. We live here too, our family lives here too. Nobody wants to be wrong with the forecast, so we're working hard to get it right.
Meteorologists work day and night to get the best forecast, but most importantly, they're just like you and me.
Now, if you want any more information on the meteorologist or the weather here in Norman, visit nws.gov/OUN. Now, Taylor and Cal, in 2019, we set a record for the most tornadoes in a single year. Let's hope we don't try to push that even further this year. Taylor and Cal, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Martin. And a new bill is soon headed to the Oklahoma State Capitol, but some are saying the law could take their freedom away. Coming up on OU Nightly.
And Marisa is tracking chances for rain in her extended forecast.
The radar looks busy right now, but we will be seeing more rain chances here as we get into the weekend. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Taking a look outside at our OKC cam, current conditions outside right now are still in the upper 50s, and we do not have sunny skies, so this must not be reporting correctly. We have a lot of cloud cover out there, and a little bit of drizzle may be moving into the Norman area, but the bulk of that rain is near McAllister, Ardmore, and Lawton's probably getting a little wet right now, too. Now, this allergy index, I know everybody's trying to stay healthy, so if you're starting to feel a little sniffly today, don't worry too much. It might just be a tree allergy because those tree allergens are high today. Now, might get a little relief as our next system starts to move through. Check out this cold front. It'll be getting to Norman around 5 a.m. tomorrow, or getting to Oklahoma around 5 a.m. and it'll move through Oklahoma throughout the day tomorrow, bringing with it some wind, hopefully kicking some allergens out of the way and making everybody feel a little bit better. So let's check out this wind forecast. Here we are tomorrow, Thursday at noon. Sustained winds in the 20s for most people, so it's going to be pretty windy. Those winds will die down overnight. Kick back up again for Friday, and then rinse and repeat, and we'll kind of do it again on Saturday too. So 18 for those winds on Saturday, 23 out in Elk City, 23 in Woodward too. So pretty windy here over the next couple of days. So now let's take a look at your 2-day forecast. So Thursday and Friday, pretty windy. Tomorrow those winds are going to be out of the north, so they're going to be pretty chilly. And then Friday there'll be a little shift and it'll be a little bit warmer, but those temperatures will be a little cooler. So sunny skies and winds. It's going to be pretty windy for the next couple of days. Now we do have a rain chance moving back into our forecast Sunday evening into Monday as well. So those temperatures will drop off a little bit for the weekend, and then once that rain clears up on Monday, those temperatures are back up into the 70s for early next week.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Amazing.
That is
Amazing.
good. It's going to be busy Campus Corner this weekend, I'll tell you that.
I'm sure.
I know that.
Thank you, Marisa. And is personal safety on the road a choice or a mandate? That's the root of the conflict surrounding a new bill. Oklahoma lawmakers are considering a bill that would make it illegal for motorcyclists in the state to ride without a helmet. Many view it as a common sense measure, but plenty of bikers dislike the proposal, saying they don't want their freedom on the bike restricted. Then there are those that simply hope people make the safe decision either way.
I mean, they're right. It is their decision because it's their life, but I think that they should wear a helmet. It will save your life. It could save your life one day.
The bill is expected to meet plenty of opposition from legislators as well, but safety experts say it is a great way to prevent serious injuries or even death.
Well, OU baseball is off to a hot start so far this season.
And Lindsey Gibbs tells us about that hot start continued against the Dallas Baptists.
Hey, Cal, Taylor. OU baseball had a great game last night, but the same could not be said for OU basketball. We'll recap the Sooners' brutal Red River loss when we come back. Welcome back. You're watching OU Nightly. I'm Lindsey Gibbs. Let's talk sports. To start off men's basketball, they took their most gutting loss of the season to Texas last night after Christian Doolittle missed 2 free throws with 6 seconds on the clock. The Longhorns' Matt Coleman ran down the court and hit a buzzer-beating 3 to steal the win on OU senior night. The Sooners will finish the regular season at TCU on Saturday. Now for the women, Sooners will travel to face the TCU Horned Frogs for the second time this season. Freshman Gabby Gregory is averaging a little over 13 points per game. They look to snap a 6-game losing streak for their final road game of the Big 12 season. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. Moving on to baseball, OU beat Dallas Baptist 10-3 here at L. Del Mitchell Park. Sophomore Wyatt Olds struck out 7 and left fielder Diego Munez hit a 3-run home run in the 7th inning. Looking ahead, the Sooners face Arkansas Pine Bluff today. The first pitch is set for 6:30 right here in Norman. Now, March Madness hasn't started yet, but we've already witnessed some great moments in college basketball this month. Take a look at Thomas Snacks Lee, a student manager at Jackson State. Snacks suited up for the Tigers on senior night and drilled a deep 3. Not only did the arena go crazy, but the Southwestern Athletic Conference named Snacks its player of the week. And on Wednesdays, we usually highlight the winner of the week. However, this week we wanted to highlight a special story of winner of the week. Sydney Baulier joins us with the winner. Sydney?
Thanks, Lindsay. 5 years ago, Josh Spidell was a star recruit heading to Vermont where he committed to play basketball at the college level. Then tragedy struck and Josh suffered a traumatic brain injury in a car accident. He was in a coma for 5 weeks and doctors believed he would never be able to read above a 4th grade level and also require 24-hour assisted care. Last night, Josh took the court on senior night and scored his first collegiate points for the Catamounts, defying all odds. After the layup, Josh hugged all of his teammates and coaches as well as the opposing team and soaked in the remarkable moment.
I mean, I think me and my parents, we always believed, but I mean, that was a far off dream. That was a dream. And just to sit there today and score the layup and just to see my name in the box score and just, okay, I did it.
Vermont also announced last night that Josh would graduate with a 3.4 GPA. We all agree that Josh deserved our pick for winner of the week. Back to you, Lindsay.
Thank you so much, Sydney.
That
what a
was
great
good.
story,
That is
right?
the winner of the week.
Amazing.
For sure.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. And coming up, an OU student's halftime performance may have just landed her a date with an OU wide receiver.
Yeah, find out how it all played out when OU Nightly comes back.
I'm Kaitlyn Deggs at the OU Nightly Update Desk. An Edmond man has been charged with illegally shipping firearms to the Middle East. Randy Lou Williams faces 4 charges, including illegally smuggling firearms from the U.S. This comes after a package containing firearms sent from Williams was seized by FBI officials in Abu Dhabi. If convicted, Williams can face up to 10 years in prison and $250,000 in fees. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Kaitlyn. And shots were flying all over the place last night at the Lloyd Noble Center. OU student Allie Hilburn was shooting a couple different shots at the half.
That's right. She made the layup and the free throw, but struggled with the 3. However, Allie wasn't the only one shooting a shot. OU football wide receiver Spence Jones was in attendance and tweeted out that he wanted to take Hilburn on a date. Her response, when and where? My response, people say love is dead. There it is right there. I mean, everyone's hearts were broken from OU falling to Texas in dramatic fashion. But then you have this, 2 hearts coming together
a fairy tale
right
ending.
there in Lloyd Noble.
We should have been there last night. We really missed out.
And maybe they could go on a good old date outside this weekend.
Yes, it's going to be beautiful. Temperatures in the 70s. A little bit of rain might roll in Sunday night into Monday, but you could definitely get all your plans out of the way before then. Yeah, so we'll be 63 on Saturday, 64 on Sunday, hitting the 70s by Monday with a little bit of rain, but this weekend, it's going to be a nice weekend to head outside. I saw some people hammocking.
Oh, wow.
Those are coming back.
Sounds nice.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Studying for midterms in a hammock.
Yeah, outside. Take it all outside this
Yeah,
weekend.
we'll see. We'll go out and visit some of the hot spots around Norman. That's for sure.
I'm sure you will, Cal.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you very much for watching OU Nightly on this Wednesday night.
Be sure to tune in every weekday live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.